Hi, my name is Chris Ryan. Thank you very much for joining me here at the Forest of Arden. Today's topic, a really important one. We're going to talk about the difference between a weight shift and a pressure shift, and we're going to show you why they are so different and which one you need to do in your golf swing. So welcome back once again to the Forest of Arden, and today's lesson, talking about pressure versus weight shift, is definitely going to help you do two things. It's definitely going to help you hit the ball further, but it's also going to help you be more consistent when we take what we say in this lesson through into the irons, because what we talk about today is applicable right through the bag. So let's go through exactly what we're discussing in this video, and I think this is such an important topic for every golfer out there to appreciate and understand, because this for me is one of those subjects where understanding it can really change your golf swing, because many golfers within their swing are trying to do the wrong thing, and that's what we're going to try and cover in this video. So we're talking about the term pressure shift or weight shift. We're going to talk about the difference, why it's important that we know the difference, and some of the pitfalls that you can fall into if you're trying to do the wrong thing, as we said. So let's talk about weight shift. As I set up here, my weight is obviously going through my feet. That's the only contact with the ground. So my weight is going to be evenly distributed between my left side and my right side. So I have what we call a centre of mass, and that's going to be somewhere in here, somewhere maybe around up here where my buttons are just below. So if you ask me to move my weight onto my trail side, I would have to take my mass, so me, and I would have to move it over onto this trail side. I've now moved my weight onto my trail side. To move my weight, I generally have to move my centre of mass. This is my centre of mass here. Now, pressure is something completely different. Pressure is how much force we're applying to the ground. Again, that's only 3 feet because that's the only place that you're in contact with the ground. So if I was to stand here and you asked me, not too sure why you would, but if you asked me to just jump towards the target, which is down here, it doesn't have to be a huge amount, just jump towards the target. What I would do to jump that way is I would push down through my trail foot to make me jump this way. So if I do that now, I'm probably going to look very silly, but let's go through that. So I jump this way. So if we could measure that, there was an increase in pressure under my trail side because I was pushing down, I was applying more force through my trail side. But you will see from that video, I never ever went to my right side. I never moved my centre of mass to the right. I never moved this way. I just pushed down, and actually my pressure, we would have seen that move towards my trail side, and my centre of mass was moving towards the target. Completely different. So what are we trying to do in the golf swing? Well, we're trying to shift pressure. That's really important. But what unfortunately too many golfers do is they will try and move weight. They try and move their centre of mass. So they'll end up making a backswing where they physically move over this way, because when they stop at the top of the golf swing, they go, I feel like the weight's on my trail leg. That must be correct. So unfortunately, you know, when I'm coaching down on the lesson team in my bay, I see so many golfers that have a lateral move off the golf ball. And that lateral move is generally through both hips and upper body, because they're often trying to move their weight onto their trail side. Potentially that's something they've been told in the past. It's something that they maybe have read in magazine articles or whatever it may be, but they've got that in their mind that they're trying to move their weight onto their trail side. When we look at moving pressure, how we do that efficiently is only going to happen in a moving part, in a golf swing. So if I was to make my golf swing, I will move pressure. I can measure that and I know that. If I take my setup, and just for the purpose of this, I'm going to set myself up 50-50, so my weight distribution is very even. If I make a backswing, a good backswing, and stop at the top, where do I feel my weight? Well, I feel my weight 50% here, 50% here. It's not moved because it's a static position. If you could look at me at the top of the golf swing, when I'm hitting a shot, my pressure will be on this trail side, but only because it's a continuous motion. So what I will see very often is golfers where they make these rotations and stop at the top, and they'll often say, I don't feel my weight's on my trail leg. So what do? They go, that's where it needs to be, because I know that my weight should be on my trail side. And this is where we start to get unstuck. So if you were to make a backswing and stop, you will not feel your weight anywhere different to where it was at the setup. And that's correct. But when you actually make a full swing motion, and we can trace that, we will see the pressure move. But the purpose of this video really is to get you to try and make a more centered turn, because that's going to help you with your consistency of strike, and it's also going to help you shift pressure efficiently. If we shift pressure efficiently, we can add more speed. So here's what you're going to do as a little drill. Take your setup, okay? And I've done this drill before and I love this little exercise. You're going to start to feel that the club moves back and forward by a couple of feet, okay? Nothing major. And you're going to start to make that a little quicker and try and make the change in direction a little bit more aggressive. And as I do that, I really start to feel now how when that club goes from one direction to the other, I feel that through my feet. I'm really using my feet to push into the ground to change the club's direction. So feel how the movement of the club is reflected in the pressure through your feet through the ground. Great little exercise. You can start to just lengthen that up. And I am definitely shifting my pressure. I could even lift up my heels to show that the pressure is shifting. But you will see I am not at any point physically moving my weight, because this is absolutely not as efficient. This feels very, very wooden. It doesn't feel particularly rhythmical. I'm not matching what the club is doing with what my feet are doing. So today's lesson is all about the difference in weight shift and pressure shift. Don't get caught into the trap of feeling like you have to shift your weight onto your trail side. If you swing to the top and stop, you shouldn't necessarily feel weight on this trail side. Your weight should feel very centered, but when you swing, you will shift pressure. Right, let's see if I can do that on this 17th hole. I'm gonna hit drive. I'm gonna try and go over that tree. I think I can make the carry. We'll soon find out. Little left where I wanted. Needs to get lucky. If I've missed that tree, it'll be okay, but there's a little left where I was trying to hit it. Pressure shift, weight shift, very, very different. We need to understand the concept, because unfortunately, if people don't, we can get caught into these traps. And then when I see people in the lesson team, we've got to kind of reverse that process and get them working a little bit more on the pressure shift. So hopefully that video is helpful, some information. Try that little drill. I think you're going to find that quite useful. You can even do that at home. You don't need a golf club, but really great way to start to feel and sense what a pressure shift is. Usual stuff is down below. Comments box, like button over here, my logo. Click that. That will allow you to be a free subscriber of the channel. I would love to have you along for the journey. Thank you for watching. We'll see you back here again soon.